I have the pleasure to moderate a little bit today, this topic was on stage already like 2 years ago when Sara and Jeremy were on this stage at a different place, but same stage before, and they talked about scaling XR at Nestle already before. So very excited to hear about the progress in these 2 years. And Sara, Jeremy, maybe you introduce yourself a little bit, and then we'll jump right into the slides.
Thank you so much, Carsten. Hi, everyone. I'm Sara Boss from VRdirect. I'm handling the key account management there. And VRdirect is a no-code software solution that enables enterprises to use VR in a very efficient way, which is extremely important for rollout. We also offer a lot of consulting with our solution and work really, really close with the client. And handing over to Jeremy.
Hello guys, my name is Jeremy Moussai. I'm working with the global IT innovation team based in Barcelona over 5 years at Nestlé. And I'm leading the XR space. Thank you for having us.
Perfect. So thanks for the brief introduction. We're going over to the next slide. And Jeremy, maybe you can tell us a little bit, like normally projects are starting with a POC, so everybody's doing a lighthouse and looking into how VR, XR is growing in their companies. Can you say a little bit more about the background, like how XR developed over the years at Nestle, especially looking back into the last 2 years?
Sure, Carsten. So yeah, in 2 years' time, like a lot has happened. Even though we're a small team, innovation team in Barcelona and around the world is around like 35 people. So we're doing a lot of great things. This is true that most of the time we start with a proof of concept. That's the way it worked with VRdirect. That's the way it works with like our global partners. One concrete example, like just so you understand the big picture. I said we're based in Barcelona, so Spain. We have a close connection with like the Spanish market because we share offices. Let's put it like that. And we did a POC with the Girona factory to do some VR stuff together. And this was such a great success story at local level that it took us to the big stage. We managed to go to HQ to present the project where the big decisions happen. And it was decided to make the project global. So mostly this is the way it works. Of course, it's not always the same story because, you know, Nestlé is a huge company. It's like 270,000 people, 180 plus countries, 2,000 brands. So sometimes it's top down, sometimes it's bottom up. But in the VR space, there's so much to do. And we started like 5-6 years ago with VRdirect as being one of the long-lasting suppliers of Nestlé, that it's a long journey, and this is very exciting times.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Sara, looking at the slides, like we see there are a lot of numbers on there. So can you tell us a little bit what's the magic behind the numbers?
Yeah, I mean, actually, some of them speak for themselves. We work together for a long time now, but like Jeremy already mentioned, there were POCs at the beginning, and it takes time for people to adapt. It's very, very important to kind of stay with it, to educate more and more and more, and also to use the right use cases for people to understand quickly what they can do with it. I think today it's even more important than ever before for real rollouts and kind of getting out of the POC phase to use cases, select your use cases very carefully, and to make sure that the department understands right away what they can do with it, because only like understanding the real quickly understanding the benefit makes VR entering the door and staying there. And so, talking about the numbers, today it's 30 countries at Nestle, many regions, which means many people understood the use cases and have adopted. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the use case selection as well, because here I've mentioned mainly, or we've mentioned mainly training, EHS, which means like health, safety, and so on. and leaving out marketing. Marketing is also really important, but marketing cases are often POCs or like big lighthouse projects to really kind of get use cases as multipliers. EHS, learning, training, onboarding, safety are perfect use cases to get VR being rolled out. And at Nestle, we've seen, for example, the Girona project being an initiative at the beginning, and now many people adopting the idea. I mean, you can use templates, for example, for safety and onboardings. You can make people really quickly understand kind of what they can do with it and doing it themselves.
Maybe just an unprepared question, but how important is it to have a guy like Jeremy on the side helping to roll out all these use cases? Because I think, Jeremy, you need to have like a lot of understanding for your departments and for your global company, but also Sara, like it's always a thing that you need to really find the right people enabling all this stuff.
Absolutely, and sorry to say that now, but you really need people having a vision and staying with it. We work with many big clients, and it's extremely important that there's a VR Excellence Center, IT Innovation Center, that has an idea and stays with it and continues fighting for the ideas. And after 5 years, I've seen, at least at Nestle, that there has been achieved a lot, but that was mainly because of a team really fighting for their ideas and continuing to roll out the solution. And helping us to really get out there and now being used in Latin America, Asia, the European market, and so on.
Just a quick comment. Thank you for the kind words. Like 5 to 6 years ago, when I was hired, like I mentioned this in Lisbon when we presented together 2 years ago. There was not so much around XR. It was a lot of like very small projects, on and off. Not real strategy. So we put together a team. My partner in crime is right there in the audience, David. And yes, we are tech enablers, tech advisors. We have a vision. It's nothing happening like overnight, you know. Like I remember I was seeing this morning like the presentation, the keynote from Ori, and we saw this like Palmer Lucky guy with the DK1 from Oculus. So that's why it all started for me as well, like more than 10 years ago. And you need to embrace the journey. You know you're going to face challenges, especially when you join like a company like Nestlé. It's very complex. There's like tons of teams, tons of markets, big markets, small markets. You need to find believers. You need to create alliances. You need to find the right partners. So yes, this is like a big time journey and like lots of challenges on a day-to-day basis. But again, this is very exciting.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the glance into the past, Jeremy. We had it already on the title of the presentation. So now my question comes to the point, looking into the future or even into the present, and talking a little bit about AI and how technology like AI is also like changing your perspective on an XR environment. And yeah, maybe you can help us a little bit understanding how this is changing your daily life at the moment.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, you all notice, you all witness this like AI revolution, let's call it this way. It started like Q1, Q2 last year, 2023, when everything and everyone got crazy about AI, GenAI. So in a company like Nestlé, when I'm saying like we need to have a vision, we need to have people that are building the future, we had like the entire team almost focusing on like GenAI industrialization. So to create a product so we can like scale, because scaling is like a key word for us at Nestlé. You can imagine, again, if you look at the big picture, like 180 countries, more than 200,000 people, it's a very long journey. And this GenAI revolution, of course, we saw the opportunity because when you're like working in the XR space, again, this is a new term, like extended reality. Like 5 years ago, we were calling like AR, VR. Mixed reality was not something real, like let's say for most of the people. So this GenAI revolution was meant to happen in some way, to give us a big push for the entire industry, like to be driven. And we see, and this is something very interesting, like lots of conversation we're having with VRdirect about like the convergence between XR and AI, which is like the future, definitely. And a relationship, a partner relationship, the most important is to have like open discussions. We meet like every 2 weeks to discuss the future, to talk about pain points, obstacles, challenges, what we can do, like to make sure we're going in the right direction. And I think this is one of the key of the success story of our collaboration.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. Maybe Sara, you can dive a little bit deeper into the topic of partnership exchange, also like collecting consumer feedback for a company like VRdirect. How important is it to have this exchange with Jeremy on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, and then also learn about how important it is to have features like AI integrated in your tools?
It's extremely important to have that exchange and to have the trust, the build trust, to be able to speak open to each other and also to see where there are really the important things that we have to, as a software solution, have to take on to develop. Because development, as all of you know, is nothing that you do from one day to another. It's really like a road where you have to exactly plan and think about kind of what is important for your important client, but also for the market. I mean, what is, in your opinion, going to be a game changer, and also kind of getting back the feedback from the market, what people really need, because you will hear every day tons of different ideas, and we need this, we need that. If you have a close partnership and you have that built trust, you can be sure that what is requested really is important, and then you make sure that you get it done somehow. And so.
And one thing on VRdirect, like the way they see things, the way they anticipate the future. I have to say something about Rolf, like their CEO. Like that guy is a visionary, and he's been helping us like almost from day one. Again, to get prepared. Our goal at Nestlé is to be future ready, and the GenAI capability. Can you imagine again? Like it just makes things easy. You don't have to go crazy on learning, like just to create your own project in VR. This is a no-code solution. So it's like you purchase a camera, 360 camera, you go on site, you take pictures, you take videos, and then you just like edit. You're using VRdirect Studio app, and everyone can do it. So in a company like Nestlé, when we want like everyone to be engaged with the technology, it's been a game changer. So this is why, again, we're having this like open conversation all the time, just to make sure we're going in the right direction. And this is something like very, very relevant to me as leading the space, to have like people who share that vision and who always are ready like to make the changes, the necessary changes. And with VRdirect, like we're going in the right direction, definitely.
Perfect. Thank you, Jeremy. Like. You talked about like a lot about the partnership with VRdirect. Sara, I assume there are also like challenges on the way to support companies like Nestlé in that size on scaling XR, VR to a certain level. So maybe you can share some insights with us on what are these challenges, how can we overcome this, what makes like you mentioned a little bit before already, but what makes a real good partnership count, and how could like a software solution and an enterprise like work on this topic together and really be successful on it?
I mean, some of those challenges I've mentioned already, but I want to stress them or emphasize them once more. It's really important to find the real people within a company or an enterprise who have the power and the vision to not only work on a project for 3 months, but who have an idea what to do next, and then after that, and in 2 years, and who also have a connection to the hardware handling or management within the company, because it's so many elements that have play such an important role. It's really important to have all that knowledge and that expertise channeled at one place. And then there's the possibility to really always, like from our side, to always try to make it happen, because then we can work on really one goal that we have together, and then also bring in our expertise, and that is the second challenge, to shape the software in a way that it's, and Jerry mentioned that already, so easy to use that a department who had never heard about VR before overcomes their fears maybe to, in their everyday work process, still to use that new medium. And I mean, sometimes when you're so kind of involved with VR, you're always asking yourself, why are they not doing it, trying it? It's so easy to use. But still, they still have to come to that point where, besides their normal job, they still kind of do something new. And that's a huge challenge. So we have to make it as easy as possible for them. We have to provide them with things that make it, besides the software solution, even easier for them. Speaking about templates, for example, we're constantly playing back and forth ideas like that. How can template projects help a department to even have less work or to understand it quicker? And so we're constantly working on trying to make it easier for the client, and also picking up the best practices from kind of our everyday work, from our conversations with other clients, and kind of bundle it together in something that we can offer. And I hope that makes it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So in general, what I understood, it's a lot about transparency as well. So on the one hand, of course, you as a company need to be open to share your pain points with a service provider like you. But on the other hand, also like sharing insights from the market, from other customers with you guys to really like push boundaries together. So thank you very much. It was really insightful. We have 5 more minutes left, and these guys decided to go on a Q&A session. So are there any questions in the room? Because I think pretty good to ask them to these kind of people here.
And if there's no question, I just want to say one more thing, again, about what is the key to success in a collaboration. I completely agree with what Carsten said, and I already mentioned this. The most important when you're like a supplier for a big company is to understand how it works from the inside. So I'm not saying like they need to know everything, but they need to know how the complexity works. There's so many people involved, like so many stakeholders, that at some point, if you want to come up with the right solution, you need to understand like what will make the difference. The way you communicate, the way you build the solution, the way you engage with the people, the tone, everything is like super important. And this is our role, again, like as tech enablers within a company like Nestlé, to make sure our providers understand the big picture. For us, it's a constant challenge. I've been there like for 5.5 years, and I'm learning every day. You know, like we have people in a company like ours that have spent 20, 25 years and that tell me the same story. Like nothing is set in the stone. Like you need to create your own network, you need to challenge yourself, and you need to challenge others. And you need, in that case, to challenge your suppliers as well. And this has to be like a team effort, like a family work. Because if you want to make sure like you fulfill your dreams, and again, I see big for Nestlé, I really want to make sure like I have the right partners to make it happen. So thanks again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.